Yo guys, what is going on? Yes, some more BT10 gameplay for you guys. I'm playing yellow-red hybrid down at the bottom here. I still think a really strong deck even with Jet Selfie Mono 1 because of the new tools we got out of the set 10 format. I'm going to start off with a pretty standard Digimon plus TK play here. Got some really powerful cards in my hand as well. I already drew the one of Jet Selfie. My opponent is actually playing Minerva Loop. So we are going to see a Gazimon evolve for 0, and then Analog Youth is going to take the second Gazi to hand and then trash a couple of cards here. Eismon Scatter Mode is going to be Digivolve for 2, and then the second copy of Gazi is going to be played on the field for a cost of 3. So I thought about swinging with the Guilmon here or potentially playing the Sunrise Buster, but I think I want to hold that a little bit. So Guilmon plus the Gigi Egg will draw you 2 cards, a really powerful engine, and then we're just going to put our opponent back to 1, grabbing a Zephyrmon off the second TK here, and then shuffling up our security. So he's going to bring out the Eismon, most likely going to swing with it. There's not really a reason to not do so. We're going to hit the Miko mode in the security here, so the Eismon will die here, and then we're going to get the draw 3 cards, trash 2, and then draw 1, trash 1 off of our inherited effects here. So really powerful stuff here. Minerva Loop is a really fun deck. If you like a deck with a lot of combos, but doesn't necessarily have one straight path to get there, really complicated deck but a really high ceiling, then I would highly recommend you playing that deck. My buddy Ying has a really good tutorial over on his channel. I'll probably have that in the link in the description below if you want to check out an in-depth tutorial on how to play the deck. But regardless, we're going to discard some cards here. We're going to get rid of the Cerberusmon, the regular Cerberusmon here, as well as an extra Deathclaw that we don't necessarily need, especially against the Yellow Hybrid matchup, where I'm not usually leaving level 4s or lower or anything on the field. I really only target for that is a Guilmon or a Stray Hybrid that I'm going to put on the field. And then we're going to discard, draw another card, discard another Analog Youth off of the Demi-Mera here. Then Devimon is going to be Digivolve for a cost of 1 on top of the Gazi. Setting up a blocker is pretty nice, but not the best against my deck since I can go into Zephyr, who's 6,000. And then lastly, Matt is going to be played for a cost of 4, grabbing back any purple Digimon or option card from the trash. So you've got Cerberusmon plus Werewolf mode to potentially be able to add the Werewolf mode back if we maybe want to Digivolve into Cerberusmon in our hand on top of that Devimon. Or we could grab back something like the Deathclaw or something. Lots of options here, so we are going to actually just take the regular Cerberusmon there. So I'm going to go ahead and start by Digivolving or by hatching my Digimon. Got 4 Zephyrs in hand, pretty unfortunate, but I guess I'd rather have 4 than 0. We're going to evolve Zephyr number 1 for a cost of 2. Going to go ahead and swing into security. Not going to be punished whatsoever. And then after that, I'm just going to go ahead and play the Sunrise Buster to neg the Devimon by 6,000 since I've got 2 Tamers in play there. So really powerful card. Sunrise Buster, just an absolute menace. So then our opponent is going to go ahead and hatch his Digi. I got the Gabumon in the back here. Will we see the perfect stack with the Eismon? He could have actually added it back off the mat if he wanted to just draw more cards. But instead we're just going to see a Devimon and then probably the Cerberusmon at some point. The Cerberusmon engine hard carries the Minerva Loop deck. We saw it have success in Lilith Loop a couple formats ago, but it is just such a powerful engine to have access to. So we are going to go to 4 here. Because our opponent is at 3 or less, our Taikari will give us +1 memory. Jet Sylphimon is going to be Digivolve for a cost of 1, recovering 1, swinging into security here. And then we're going to go ahead and Digivolve Kazemon on top of our Dual Tamer for a cost of 2, and then I'm probably just gonna evolve the Shikuamon, putting our opponent to 3, and then Shikuamon, since we got 5 or fewer, we're just going to recover 1, going up to 6. So definitely a not terrible replacement for Jet Sylphie, but just the fact that it costs 4 is just really unfortunate. But it is a non-discriminatory heal for 1 versus something maybe a Star Deck Anjuamon or something like that requires you to have a certain security threshold. So I like Shikuamon a lot, really strong. So our opponent is going to go ahead and promote the Cerberusmon. You typically want to swing Cerberus first, just to get extra damage, but going Minerva at first is fine, especially if you've got the combo in your trash. There's not really a reason to avoid doing that, since I know since we were talking, he's got a really powerful option card in his hand, which is going to be Revival from Darkness. So the Minerva is going to swing over the Jet Sylvie, and then Revival from Darkness, what it allows you to do is it allows you to delete one of your Digimon to then play a level 5 or lower here. So we are going to delete the Minervamon and then resolve Calling from Darkness, allowing yourself to play back the Cerberusmon from the trash. And then now, since it was deleted, Minervamon will trigger, the Demi-Miramon, since it's still underneath the Minervamon, will also trigger, and then the Analog Youth will also trigger, being able to suspend to gain 1 memory and hatch a Digi-Egg. So then we're going to go ahead and draw a couple of cards here off the Gabumon as well as the Demi-Miramon here, discarding some stuff. And then, of course, we can wait to trigger the Minerva afterwards, since it happens at the same time as our discarding. And then lastly, Minervamon is going to bring back most likely our Werewolf mode here. So it's really cool how this combo can just net you so much advantage. And then because on play, Cerberusmon Werewolf mode will be able to delete a Cerberusmon to gain back 9 memory, and then drawing 2, discarding 1 off the Cerberusmon. So being able to gain that much memory and then you have rush so you can swing immediately is just absolutely ridiculous. And being able to, that's kind of where the loop comes in, because then after this, if you had another Minerva, he could evolve into a Minerva. We are going to hit a Sunrise Buster, so -6 on the Cerberusmon. So we have the potential for something like a Lilith or another Minerva if he's got it. Psychmon is going to be evolved just to cycle another card on there. Since we got the free egg off the Analog Youth anyways, we might as well take advantage of it. So Eismon's then going to be Digivolved for a cost of 2, going over the Psychmon. And it looks like he doesn't have the second Minerva. We are going to play a Gabu, gain 1 off of the Jack right here, or gain 2 rather, going to 3 memory, and then going into not a Cerberusmon directly. We are going to go Devimon first for a cost of 1, and then going to Jackraid again, going to 4, and then getting Cerberusmon for a cost of 3. Still not passing turn. Of course, can't attack right now since it was played this turn, but we can then use the Revival from Darkness to be able to pop one of our Digimon, potentially pop something like the Cerberusmon Werewolf mode, and then play it back again to pop like the Cerberusmon that we just put on the field. But our opponent's not going to do that. There's a lot of different lines, so I do apologize of like maybe this is like not the most ideal way to play. We're still kind of figuring out the deck, but we are just going to hard play the Cerberusmon here. In order to pay 9 to delete the Cerberusmon and then gain back the 9, so basically playing it for 0, drawing cards still, filling up our trash, and then of course we still do have the rush here, so we can definitely just swing into security. Crimson Blaze is going to be hit, which is really powerful, because if you guys remember, the Sunrise Buster did -6 onto the first Cerberusmon, so it is actually going to die, and then this prevents our opponent from playing Digimon via card effects for the rest of the turn. This is probably the single strongest card you can have against Minerva Loop, because he essentially has to just end his turn. There's not really much he can do. Here we do just play the Psychmon for a cost of 3, and then instead of doing anything like a Minerva, we're just going to hard play that, because Minerva is not going to get his value this turn. There's really nothing you can do against that, so I'm going to go ahead and Digivolve the Guiomon. I'm going to go to 4 because of my dual tamers, swing Shakumon, swing Zephyrmon, and then just swing into the last Zephyrmon here for game. So Yellow Hybrid is going to take the first one. Game 2, my opponent is going to start with the Psychmon plus Gabu. Not the best opening, but we also have a really strong starting hand, so not sure our opponent's going to be able to do much against drawing Jet Sylphie again for the second game in a row. So we are going to play Bokomon. I think Bokomon's really solid in this deck now, because you want to be able to search your singular Jet Sylphie as quickly as possible. So maybe it wasn't necessarily necessary in the deck before, but I think it's really powerful in the deck now. And then of course getting free evolves. I'm going to play TK, grabbing a Zephyrmon and then just passing turn on that. Psychmon is going to swing into the Guiomon here, living since he's 3k, and then Gabu is going to die to the Kazemon here. Deathclaw is going to come down for a cost of 1, deleting my Bokomon and then drawing a card and discarding a card off of the Demi-Miramon inherited effect. So not a terrible play by our opponent here. Definitely putting me to 3 this early on. 3 security is pretty unfortunate, but he's just going to pass turn after that, so not a very good hand. I'm going to Zoe into security here, see the Susano and Miko mode in security, so pretty weak security, but I'm just going to grab the Zephyrmon after that. and then just play Cody to pass the turn, putting our opponent to 3. Next turn, I'm set up for a Jet Sylphie combo, potentially maybe a Sunrise Buster. Our opponent is just going to hard play the Cerberusmon and pass turn, putting us to 3. I'm going to go ahead and Digivolve Zoe into the Zephyrmon here for 2. Of course, being able to gain the plus 2,000 to the security, recovering 1 off Jet Sylphie, drawing into the Guillemon, which is really powerful for the following turn for a cost of 0. And then I think definitely here, Venusmon's not the best. I don't know if it's worth 4 here, but it's not a terrible play just because it stops anything from hitting my life like in the following turn. So Venusmon on evolve will give his whole field a Holy Wave blanket effect, so everything has security attack -1, and then therefore everything for this turn cannot activate its when attacking and when digivolving effects. So no Lilithmon, no nothing like that. However, he can still Minervamon and like pop it, use on deletion effects and things like this, where you can use an on play effect from the Cerberusmon werewolf mode to pay 9 and then gain 9, and then pop the Cerberusmon on deletion, gain 2 or draw 2 rather, and discard 1. But he won't be able to hit my security whatsoever because all of his Digimon do have security attack -1. So we are going to see Creepymon Digivolve for a cost of 3. His when Digivolving does not resolve though, because of the fact that Venusmon was able to give him the security attack -1 for the turn. So not going to be able to mill me out whatsoever. He also can't use his one attacking, which gains him like 3,000 DP or something. But regardless, we are going to go ahead and Digivolve the Devimon for a cost of 1, and then Analog Youth is going to be played for a cost of 3. Probably grabbing the Minerva. Yep. So grabbing the Minerva and then trashing the the little guys. I'm going to go ahead and start with 4 because of my Cody during the main phase. So I've got a yellow Digimon and gain 1. The Venus is going to go ahead and swing into the Minervamon into security. So 12,000 to his 11,000. Creepymon, definitely really strong. It can boost itself by 3,000 by like milling cards during his turn, but I don't really care too much about it. It doesn't really do anything else. Guillemon's going to go ahead and swing security, drawing a couple cards off of its effects there. I've got a really strong hand. I could definitely Gaia Force, or Sunrise wouldn't be able to kill it, but I could definitely Gaia Force. I was debating on that, but realistically, I'm not really worried about a Creepymon. So instead, I'm just going to play a Boko to get a free evolve next turn, grabbing another hybrid to be able to potentially go for game as well as a tamer. And then if I play something like a Taikari, I can gain another memory off that next turn, but I am going to Digivolve Zephyr onto the Cody, being able to evolve it for essentially free because of Boko, and then playing the Taikari. So next turn, I'll start with 4. I'll get a free evolve off of Boko, so I really just need one of my Digimon to live, regardless if it's Boko or not, because I'll start with 4 memory regardless, so I can double hybrid him and then swing with a third Digimon for a game. Of course, he's got the blocker as well, but if he doesn't, if he leaves out in field, that's fine. I can Sunrise Buster it. I'm not really in a rush to be able to deal with this board. Like, I'm not really scared of anything at this point. So Devimon moves out. We don't have the Psych Attack -1 from the Venus anymore, so we can definitely use the Creepymon and stuff. So Creepymon is going to swing on attack. It does mill top 3 cards of my opponent's of my deck, and then for every 10 cards or something, it gains 3,000, or I think it just gains 3,000 in general. So it's going to, regardless, go to like 14k, swing into the Venusmon, and then after that, we might see something like a Cerberus and then a Werewolf. We have seen, I think, 2 of them so far, but there we've got the Calling from Darkness, so that's going to definitely be able to come in handy. Calling from Darkness, going to pop the Creepymon here, and then going to be able to add any 2 cards, any 2 purple Digimon from the trash here. So going to go look through our trash a little bit. We do indeed have 3 werewolf modes, and I think 1 or 2 regular Cerberusmons in there. So we are going to just grab back double werewolf mode here. Oh, actually, we have all 4 werewolf modes, I believe, in the trash here. So we're actually just going to grab back 1 as well as a Minervamon, since we don't have 1 in trash, and then going to be able to gain 1 back, essentially making that free off of the Analog Youth. Gazimon is then going to be able to be Digivolved for a cost of 0, cycling another card. And then I feel like here he's going to have to evolve into a werewolf mode, actually, which is really unfortunate. We did see him. We do know he had the regular werewolf and trash, so we could have definitely added that back and then done something like a Cerberusmon Werewolf mode from hand, so he could have added both of those back, like one of each, but maybe you wanted the Minervamon in hand, I'm not sure. We are just going to pass with the Minervamon for a cost of 3, so I am going to start with 4 because of my double tamer here, and the Pokemon's on the field as well, so I'm definitely going to be able to just swing with the Pokemon, but I was trying to play a little bit around like Deathclaw or anything here, so I was thinking like, well, should I evolve first or not, but I think Jack Raid I felt like was more prominent in this deck, so I wanted to gain the free memory out Boko, so I'm going to go ahead Digivolve for free, swing Zephyr, swing Boko, and then the lastly going for a game with Kazimon here. So guys, that is going to be game Yellow Hybrid taking it 2-0, but thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you next time.